So we just spoke about the fact that, you know, it's all hunky-dory, but at the same time you do look at data, you do sneak into data. Is it something that needs to be looked at in terms of the way people do handle customers?
Data-driven marketing is a long, bumpy road. It is, you know, whatever you do, there are silos within organizations. So there is IT that would be separate, and marketing and sales, and the customer is now accessing you from various touch points. For the customer to have the same experience is critical, but today it doesn't happen because there's someone down the line who may not give him that same experience.
From my experience of working across multiple industries, I find a lot of different functions very amenable to it. You know, they're looking for ways to improve, they're looking for ways to improve customer experience because everyone's aware that it's a much more competitive world out there. So I think that's a movement forward. Again, long way to go. I think Rakshan, I completely agree, it's a long journey to really bring data into mainstream, but I think the journey is beginning pretty well now.
When I speak to marketers and different colleagues in different kinds of businesses, the intensity of intent, the way in which, manner in which people want to work hard on this way of marketing is for real. When that happens, things start aligning quite well.
Would you be able to share some, you know, some data to kind of talk about how it has really helped, you know, solve a business problem?
We do it all the time. We market a lot of beverage brands, and both us and the leading brands realize that when you do activation, the customer is having fun. She's just switching. I'm a grocer. Customer for me is always a she. She's just switching across brands, and the share shifts are happening. Money is getting spent, share shifts are happening. But the overall incidence of the category, overall share or bill penetration of the category in our stores is not moving. So the money is not being spent really well. So they said, help us move the needle on this. And you know, I sell everything. So all we did was think, forget category view, take the customer view, and find out what does the customer buy, who buys beverages, buys most. And we found a ridiculous thing, which is obvious, is if we could link it in some manner to vegetables, which is what Reliance Fresh is known for, we would be able to move the needle. Took a lot of convincing for an FMCG brand, which has brand ambassador and advertisers, to say your brand will be linked to, the customer proposition will be linked to purchase of potatoes and brand together. But everybody agreed. The cost of trial, the cost of learning in this world is far lower than the risks in the ATL world. So we didn't tell anyone. We tried it in one market, and for the first time in 5 years, the needle actually moved.
Interesting.
And the brand gained, and we gained, and we managed to you know, have fun with the customer who laughed at us, saying, how do you link onion and a carbonated beverage? But it was...
Rakshan, success story from you?
Client that both Ajay and I share is Aditya Birla Financial Services. And about a few years ago, you know, when the stock market tanked, it was low. It was 18% lower than 2009. So everyone was moving, taking out money from the mutual fund market. No one wanted to invest, and those who had invested wanted to just pull out. And fortunately, the CMO Ajay Kakkar had started on this journey with Ajay and us. So we had our systems in place, and we were talking and engaging with customers. And with analytics, we knew what he buys, how to educate him on staying in, what product to now sell to him that makes him more comfortable. And our target, I remember, was when the market is tanking, saying that we want 580 crores more, and we want 3 times higher retention. And in 1 year, we did 628 crores. When everyone went down just through analyzing customers, their behavior, who buys what product, what's the next product, what's the third product that he should buy, why should he buy that? So personalized communication, and it's just worked wonders. And year after year, the asset under management has doubled only through customers, not 1 rupee in above the line advertising that year.
Where we start out is typically to establish what we call the measures of success, because unless you define those measures of success in a very graphic way, you don't know what the outcome is going to look like. So with a very large DTH company, one of the things that we did over the last many years is we created a whole framework where the brief to us from the CMO was, there's an enormous amount of data which the DTH industry has. And you can actually look at the data and try and say, what packages will which subscriber buy? So we went back and we built a range of analytical models which could predict what will each subscriber buy. And then we worked out the measures of success with the CMO to try and establish a cross-selling mechanism with the inbound call center, which led to huge lifts in their business. So the cross-sell, upsell revenue that year through this entire initiative hugely surpassed their expectations, and they built a process which has run now for the last seven or 8 years. So it got built into the fabric of the company. The measures of success got socialized. The constant changes in process by which this data could be monetized were constantly looked at by multiple functions, not just the marketer. I think that's really an example of achieving success there.
There's obviously creative solutions at the end of the day, right? And do you really find that happening? What are the challenges that you face on a day-to-day business in the industry? From clients and clients, from service providers. What are the challenges that you possibly face?
So whilst this is gold dust, data is gold dust. I think what's happening now with marketers is that this is this newfound love, and they've become addicted to numbers and dependent on analytics, and they've forgotten everything about creativity. Why do customers engage with you? What are their emotional buttons? How do I get more insights and get her to engage better with the brand? Where are the big ideas? So suddenly there's this focus here and there's no focus there. So data and creative people, marketers should insist that they work together, that creative people understand data and insights and what are the right questions to ask. And marketers need to understand that also, that without great, brilliant creative, without insightful communication, however great your data is, it will not work.
But do our traditional creative people understand numbers?
Not really, but I think the skill sets have to improve.
So we are seeing a very interesting trend from my perspective. In our company, for example, we've created this new position called a creative technologist. So you actually want a person who's creative but understands tech enough to really sit back, work with multiple team members and do what we call storytelling with data. In our view, just having an analytics approach is not good enough. Till you don't eke out the story from that data, you've got to make that story talk to a wider set of people. People don't take decisions. And the decision making is most critical for data. If you don't align data with decisions, you don't really get the value from there.
How do you think this will leapfrog? How do you think this will change for the better? This industry will grow and the like.
So as I see it flowering forward, there will be nothing called digital marketer as a position. All marketers will need to be asking questions on the data, freely use customer behavior information as a source of insights, and after that take the flight of creativity and fly. I think once you've got your insights, data and direct to customer means are like good shoes that you wear. They help you run far, but they don't decide which way you go. That conventional marketing and consumer insight remains the same. I don't think it's going out of fashion.
Great. Let's hope this business thrives and grows, and thank you.